Hello viewers, where can I get real-time free market price data from for my trading bot? That is one of the biggest questions I get regularly asked from people new to trading with a bit of coding experience, want to do a bit of back testing on a strategy. Comes up time and time again and is one of the most frustrating questions. Points issues that you might come across. So after doing this job for years and years, I thought I'd just briefly list the 7 best free ones that I've seen as in this year 2025 that could help you on your journey. I've listed what they're good for, the markets that they're most appropriate to, and hopefully that will give you some idea and help you along the way on your trading automation journey. So let's get into them. So firstly, you need to realise that getting hold of real-time market data, especially futures data and quality data, is harder than what you actually think. And remember the old GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So if you put rubbish data in, you're going to get rubbish in your results. Now, the question is, where can you get hold of decent free data sources from? That's what we're going to look at now. So I'll put a table together of my 7 choices. So let's take a look at that. So this is the table, and it's in no particular ranking order because they all serve a different purpose. Now I just want to bring your attention to the column real time with a question mark. That's because where it says yes with an asterisk, I've done that deliberately because there's caveats involved in the actual data that you get. For example, some are real time for crypto or have rate limits and free tier restrictions, but they're on there because I think they're pretty good for you. So what have we got there? At the top there, alpaca, just run you through that top line. Real time, yes, you can get quite a lot of historical data from that, but really for US stocks, one of the biggest traded markets out there, really good for US stocks. What's it best for? Live bots and back tests, and I'll put some notes there as well. Free API, broker link required. Then we've got Polygon.io, good for stocks, crypto, but limited in stocks. Yahoo Finance, it's delayed data, so you've got to be aware of that. So it's not bad for back testing if you want to get a data set in there. Good for stocks and indices, beginners and education. It's like really easy to get hold of the data through an API in Python. Then we've got Binance. I think they're the leader there in crypto world. Lots of coins, assets to patch into. You get the API key in your own account. It says no API key there needed, but you just set it up in your own account, or you could use that key and take it to another platform that often you find off the back of these vendors that allow you to patch into some sort of algorithmic trading system with the API and trade directly through. Then we've got Tingo, good for stocks and FX. Best really for lightweight bots, as it says there. Then we've got 12 data, stocks, FX, crypto. And then Alpha Advantage, again good for stocks and FX. Not bad for beginners, that one. But I think you might notice something there in the markets, that there's actually no futures recommendations there. Futures market, what do I mean by that? The oil, the commodities, the stock market indices like the S&P 500, some FX futures, all those sort of instruments. Why aren't they there? So futures data, why is it not in my list? Why is it not free? Well, that's because it's controlled by the exchanges like CME and ICE, and they charge an awful lot for that data, and that's why you can't get hold of it. There's other things like regulation, compliance, red tape, market gatekeeping, that sort of thing. There are ways around it. You could use ETFs or something like that to simulate those markets, but if you want futures data, I'm afraid you're probably going to have to pay. Or another way of doing it is go through like a broker like IBKR, Ninja Trader, spread betting or CFD, and get an API link through that way. That's probably the cheapest and even possibly freest way of doing that. But often, that comes with a some sort of cost along the line. Maybe it's trading more or whatever within that broker. But that's why futures data's not there. But if you're into new into trading bots, building that sort of stuff, back testing, trying to automate your trading, what are the 3 top markets that you can get into that really don't have these restrictions? I'm just going to put it into my top 3 table now, which we will go through. By an absolute long way, I think the best market for getting your hands on free, real-time, quality data as good as you can get is in the crypto market, and that's essentially, their remit is to provide you with that information. It's supposed to be a sort of a free-for-all environment for anyone, and that's why big exchanges like Binance give you access to it. It makes sense for them to do so. So crypto really stands out there for that. And then I would say forex, FX in second place. Again, it's a regulated market, but it's not exchange based, and that's why you can get many FX feeds free. Some good quality stuff out there for you to try and test. And then what's growing at the moment, I think, is free access to US stock markets. Probably is the most highly traded stock exchange, various stock exchange, Nasdaq, S&P 500, Dow Jones in the world. And a lot of these providers, the Alpacas, the Polygons of the world, are giving us free access, and the quality, they're pretty decent. So that's my order in rank: crypto, FX and US stocks. So now you know where to head and what to use for your trading bot, trading automation projects. You've got no excuses. You can get off and start automation and getting them up and running. Hopefully that's been a useful guide for you. If you want to turn that data into Renko trading bots, I can help you there. We've got various videos on the channel there and a series we're running at the moment. But in my new book, Renko Chart Trading Revolution, that's out, and there's a link to that in the description below this. A big section on there on automation and how you can build systems using Python. Python's my preferred programming tool there. So that's a really useful supplement to your learning curve there, the book. Got a masterclass coming out July 3rd on Renko trading as well. You find a link to that in the description below as well if you're interested there. But if you've liked today's video, you found it useful, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell buttons to receive future notification of content that I'll be producing like this. A lot more on the algorithmic coding programming side coming up in the next few months for you to watch, so I hope you can join me for that. But all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.